offering. So this is the first of who knows how many virtual tours that we're going to be offering, hopefully weekly, and then eventually bi-weekly. We're going to be offering different programming like this. So thank you for being our guinea pigs this week, because we're just sort of seeing how this is going to go. Jorge, on the other hand, he's always happy to be the guinea pig, and he's had a lot of experience doing this stuff. So we're very proud of Jorge. He's really come a long way in the past year. So just a couple of things as we go along today. I'm going to be hosting, but I'm going to be in the background as like a ghost. So as soon as Jorge gets going, I'm just going to manage all of your comments. So if you're interested to ask him a question, go ahead and put that in the chat bar, and I can ask him questions whenever there's a moment it seems appropriate. And then at the very end, when he's done with the walking tour, I'll just open up everybody's microphones and you guys can chat with him and ask him questions live. And actually, Jorge, if you think about it, if there's a moment sort of halfway through your walk that we can stop and have discussion, I'd love to try that as well, because I think that's nice to open up all the microphones and let people have a discussion partway through.
Perfect. That's great. That's right.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and fade into the background here. So take it away, Jorge.
Okay. Hello. Good morning, everybody. And thank you. I'm really excited to be here, just being the guinea pig of Guide Collective, right? And also not the guinea pig of Guide Collective. It's just wait a minute. How do I? Oh, here we go. Now, technical issues. Just very excited to be the very first one in here. And look, this is where we are in the city of Madrid, Spain, southwest of the European continent. And this is one of the icons of the city, Madrid. Madrid is the capital of Spain. And just to give you an idea where we are, I'm just going to show you very, very briefly a map of the Iberian Peninsula that I have in here. Over there you go. So there you go, Madrid, there in the center. Located. We are a lockdown region, not only because of the COVID, but also because of the water. The nearest sea point is that city, Valencia, to Madrid. And this is one of the icons of the city, as I told you, the Gate of Alcala. The Gate of Alcala was commissioned to be built by King Charles III. And as you see over there, there is a plaque in white marble at the top that it says the year in Roman numbers over there. Right there, that's what it is. And well, 1778. This was the middle of nowhere in those days. And the new extension of the city, no city walls, just a very symbolic wall that anyone could jump over it. And considering that the new city limits was so because of the city was enlarging, it was in the middle of nowhere. But just here behind us is the Retiro Gardens. The Retiro Gardens were royal grounds that belonged also to the monarchy, and it was inaugurated when the Habsburgs were still here at the end of the 1600s. But as you see over here, wait a minute, as I said, okay. Look where I am. The gate behind me, and in front of me is the Retiro Gardens. We don't have time today to go to the Retiro Gardens, but if you go into Guide Collective, you will see my profile that I have several tours offering in there. And the Retiro Gardens is one of them. And this ring that we have in here, the Gate of Alcala. Remember that name, Alcala, A-L-C-A-L-A, Alcala. It means the castle in Arabic. Okay. So now, guys, because I'm going to cross the street, that there's a lot of people around me, I need to cover my face with the mask over here, and just wait until this little red man over there goes green. Okay, to cross. Very posh. High jet, jet setter place to live in here. All these apartment blocks that you see, that they are residential. And if you want to know how much they are, my answer would be, I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care, because I don't know if I will ever afford to buy an apartment here. But obviously, it's a gorgeous place to live. And that street that we see around there is called Serrano Street, S-E-R-R-A-N-O. And it's called also the Golden Mile because all the boutiques are in here. This is the other side of the gate. The gate, it was a joint venture of two architects that the King Charles III liked two projects. So when he called the two architects, he said, hey, make something that I like both projects. So in this side that you see, they have the columns in flat. The other side, they are rounded. And also the allegories at the top over here that you see, These are adults symbolizing different allegories, and the other side, they are cherubs. So both sides, although the credit goes to Sabatini, it has a lot of influences from the other architect called Ventura Rodrigo. Sabatini was Italian, a personal friend of King Charles III. King Charles III, when he got the crown of Spain, he was already the king of Naples. So he renounced to that crown and he came Spain because it was more powerful in those days. And his personal friend Sabatini came and did several works in here. Now, the street over here, remember Alcala, the name of Alcala, because it has a lot of things to do with something that we're going to see later on. We're going to cross the street, and then for you guys, if you're going to take a screenshot later on, yes, I know, there's a lot of buses over here, and also it's Saturday early evening. The COVID situation right now, they are flexibilizing a little bit the situation, but we are still in regional lockdown. So although the people from other regions cannot come over here, everybody that you see, they are local, neighbors from Madrid. We are outdoors people. That's why you see the terraces over there with loads of tables. Although the forum now is being reduced to 50%. Now, this is a wonderful view from here. I'm gonna get to a spot just to give you a moment. I'm here, we'll take a screenshot without any streets or traffic signs in here. And I'll let you know when buses are coming, because this is a very hot spot for buses. There you go. Now you have it framed. There you go. 3, 2, 1. Vámonos. Let's go, chicos. Vámonos. Okay, Alcala Street is called that way, not only because it means the castle, but because it was the name of a town northeast of Madrid called Alcalá de Henares. Henares is the name of a river in the area, and it means obviously the castle by the river, Henares, the birthplace of Miguel de Cervantes. Okay, let's open a parenthesis and let's say goodbye to our beloved symbol of the city, one of the symbols of the cities, Alcalá Gate, and vámonos. Slow panel here, buckle up guys, just in case there's some names coming over. There we go. Okay, you're gonna say, my God, you're in lockdown, so many people? Yeah, so many people. Don't forget that we are, as I said, Mediterraneans, and we are outdoors, we like to be out, but in this little bar that we're passing by, now they have only 4 tables with people, and they normally would be like about 10, and the maximum seating right now that is allowed in the region of Madrid is 6. The capital of Spain, Madrid, is one region. We're not confederation, but we are divided in 17 autonomous regions between mainland and 2, which are the bunches of islands. One, the Balearic Islands, and the other is the Canary Islands. One in the Mediterranean and the other in the Atlantic, in front of the northwest coast of the African continent. Well, Madrid. Don't forget, we were invaded by the Arabs in 1711, and the last bastion to be reconquered by the Catholic monarchs, it was the Kingdom of Granada. Kingdom of Granada in 1492, and for sure, that number sounds really, really familiar to many of you, 1492. For Spain's history, it's a before and after, okay? In those days, the country wasn't called Spain, was called the Crown of Castilla. And yes, I know that right now. It's a bit boring what you're seeing, isn't it? But look, I'm stopped here halfway down. Madrid is fairly flat. But look, from the distance, this is the gate of Alcalá over there, as you see. And this planning, which is like a grid, is part of the Salamanca neighborhood. And we are on the edge of Salamanca neighborhood. And here we see beautiful buildings with corners like that. One of my suggestions that I always gave to my people when you come over, always keep looking up, because you're gonna find surprise like beautiful facade. But if you keep coming to the right, you see something different, not only in the color, but in the size of that building. Right? Can you see that? Okay, so let's continue. I don't want to spoil it, but continue with the explanation. Madrid was the name given by the Moors to the city of Madrid. And Madrid actually means where the water flows, okay, where the fountain stops. And Madrid has a lot of underground streams, loads. That's why and I say well, was considered one of the greenest capital cities in the whole world until 2 months ago when we suffered the biggest storm ever, snowstorm ever, called Filomena, that destroyed 60% of the trees of Madrid. 60%. They say that it's going to take like about a couple of generations to get it back in the way it was. Well, Madrid. So Madrid is a distortion of Madrid. It was declared capital of the kingdom in 1561 by Philip II. Philip II was the big emperor that we had. The big one before was his father, Charles I, that he came from Germany, and he was the grandson of Fernando of Aragon, okay, one of the monarchs of the Catholic monarchs. And well, when the first global empire, it's recorded like that because the Philippines, the Spanish Armada was, they did conquer the Philippines and they named the islands under his name, Philippines. So that's why it's considered the very first global empire. So, have a look, guys, because now I'm gonna buckle up, I'm gonna pan to the left, and this is the consequence of the extension the city had in the late 1800s. They needed to upgrade the standards of the city to a capital. So all this area in here was a slum, no sewage, no running water, and they came, with this new planning. And just to make an educated guess, please, if anyone knows what that was before, what it is now, okay, this is the old post office. It was in the new neighborhood of Salamanca, and it was finished in 1915. Now it holds the City Hall of Madrid. Like about 12 years ago, the mayor of Madrid said, okay, our City Hall is getting really small and we have to keep hiring external dependencies for our offices. What about this building that now everything is electronic with emails and with the second you can send documents from one side of the world to another, and more private companies, more and more, they are taking care of the cargo and freight. So why don't we convert this into our city hall? And that's what they did. So look at how gorgeous and how beautiful it is. Now it's called Palacio de Cibeles. Funny, because the name of the architect is called Antonio Palacios, and Palacios means palace, and now it's the Palace of Cibeles, Cibeele. And you're gonna say, well, okay, fine, that's the name. Where does the name comes from? This name comes from this fountain that we have there in the center of the screen right now. But because the sun is heating, the camera, we're gonna keep moving for a little bit further because I have my favorite stop in this ring here for you to take a photo screen if you want to, and also to explain that fountain and many buildings that we have around. Trust me when I tell you that building could not be seen 2 months ago because of the trees that we had in here, and the storm destroyed them all. That is the Palace of Vista Alegre, which is the head of the military in Spain. It's a huge, big complex over there. Belongs to several houses of the nobility, mainly the Alba House, ALBA, and nobility things like in any other European country. But now it belongs to the Spanish state. As I said, the headquarters of our military. Now, and into the left. Let me show you where we're coming from. This is the post office. We still call it Correos, Correos. Correos is the name that we gave to this place. It's like we're meeting some people over here. I say, okay, so we're meeting Correos. Yeah, okay, but it's the city. We're gonna give a better perspective, because of this street lamp here. But this is the street Alcala. I keep saying, remember that name because it's got something to do with something I will say later on. Continue with my 360 panel in here. There is this beautiful and gorgeous palace that we have. Another member of the nobility, the House of Linares. 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 It was semi-abandoned, and then the family sold it to the Spanish state. I don't know if you can actually perceive here. It says Casa de América. Okay, guys, for us in Europe, when we are at school, as kids, we are taught that the American continent is from the North Pole to the South Pole in America. There is no North America, no South America. So in here, you might see there's loads of flags, and that's including the United States, Canada, and also Brazil, because although Brazil is in South America, it's not Spanish speaking country, it's Portuguese. I mean, United States, the official language, as you know, is English, and Canada is French and English, but this is the house of America, of the entire continent. So any cultural act regarding the continent of America from north to south is held in this old, old, now it's already reformed and renovated, Palace of the United States. Look at this big, long avenue that we have here. If you see a street map of Madrid, you're going to see that there is a huge avenue crossing the city from north to south. It's about 16 miles long. But what happens to that drives all the tourists crazy here is that the same street has different names in different segments. So the longest street in Madrid with the same name is Alcala, Alcala Street. But still keep remember that name because there's something else I need to say about the Alcala game. All right. So this one is from where we were up to the north, where I was pointing before. It's called Paseo de la Castellana. Castellana means the way to Castilla. Okay, so the land of the castles. Look at that beautiful building over there. We're gonna get now to the corner to see it much better. For those who are fans of the TV series, you have probably heard about the Money Heist, which is supposed to be the most viewed Netflix series in non-speaking, non-English language. It's, I mean, if you go into Netflix, you can have the option of subtitles or dub. The dubbing is not bad, I have to say, okay? So this is where season 3 and 4 happens, the Bank of Spain, which is considered a bunker. You know, no one has ever robbed in here. And if you go into my, traveling with Jorge in social media as part of the Guide Collective in here, you have the link also in Guide Collective. You can see that I offer tours, night tours with all the lights in this beautiful, absolutely beautiful building. This is not the main entrance, this is the side entrance. And what you see up here at the top, this is just like a little dome. It's bronze, but it's polished, as you see. And it's just a clock. It's like a little clock tower over there. And as you see the time, the local time right here is 6:18. That's what I see. Okay, panning to the left. And, okay, panning to the left, we see again the Palace of Cibeles with the beautiful, gorgeous fountain over there that you see. It's called Cibeles. She is, we borrowed her as, as a symbol of the city from the old Greek mythology. The goddess Cybele, goddess of earth and fertility. Not women's fertility, but earth fertility. And now it's a fountain. The sculptor was Ventura Rodriguez, the same one who made an influence of the gate of Alcala that you might see behind this, traffic signal over there at the very end. And this is House of America. We're gonna get now to a point, because this is what I consider one of the most spectacular views from this, as long as you don't have buses. Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is that later on, I will explain to you why there is so many buses and so many taxis. Any car that you see, I would say that 90% of the cars that you see running in white, they are taxis in here. There's a reason for that. Going down the avenue is the same long avenue I told you. It crosses the city from north to south. But from here, it's called Paseo del Prado. Paseo means like a walk. And the Prado means meadows. But it also gives the name to the Prada Museum, which is over there, one of the most important pinacotheques in the whole world. It is also over there to the right. at the end of the block where the Bank of Spain is the Thyssen-Bornemisza Museum, the largest private collections that belong to Spanish heritage. And at the end of the avenue, okay, is where the Queen Sofia Art Center is, which is where Picasso masterpiece is exhibited on a permanent basis, Guernica. Okay, so let's continue over here. We can see the Bank of Spain from the distance. And I'm gonna wait here for just a few seconds. In case of Sarah, do you have any questions that any of the viewers may have made already, or shall I continue?
I don't have any questions yet, but if you guys do, just go ahead and put them into the chat box and I will be happy to ask him. But doing a great job, Jorge.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to continue for a little further. All right, and look from here. This is much closer to the corner entrance of Bank of Spain main branch. There are 7 branches all over the country. By the way, one is in my hometown when I was born in Malaga. And in case you were figuring out that there are 3 very famous people in the whole world that they are from Malaga. One is Pablo Picasso, I have already mentioned him. The second one is Antonio Banderas, you know, the famous sexy actor. And you're looking at the third one, the third VIP. Sorry, guys. So let's continue. Let's do this. All right, so there you go. This is a pretty view from here. Again, there you have the Cibeles fountain over there and the Palace of Cibeles. And at the very end over there, you can see where the gate of Alcala is, where we started. Okay, well, let's turn again to the right. This flame that you see here, you know, is a homage for all of those who passed away on the at the very beginning of the COVID situation here. We had a very strict lockdown from the months of March, April, May, and mid-June. After that very strict lockdown, that the economy totally paralyzed for 3 months in here. We couldn't get out of our homes, just for the exception of going to buy essentials, etc. So after that lockdown, they decided to place this little eternal flame in here, which is dedicated to everybody who's been affected by the COVID, including the frontline workers as well. Okay, so the location is pretty, just in front of the Bank of Spain, you know, iconic ring over here. Well, let's continue. And Ano to the left. Buckle up, guys. Buckle up. A little bit quick, I know that, but this is the palace I was telling you that is now the headquarters of any military forces in Spain. And guys, trust me, we could not see beyond the trees before it's gone. And look at it now. You can see how the trees are chopped over there. They have to trim them off. And consequences of unexpected things. We're not used to that. We are Mediterranean countries, and we hardly get some snow in here. I mean, in the big cities, because of the traffic and the population, the fumes, the heatings, or the air cons working in summer, everything, you know, melts if there is any snow. The moment you get out, yes, you find some snow. But the snow we had, the amount of snow we had for 48 hours in a row, within that storm, that was just unbelievable. Seriously. Okay, this is the entrance for you fanatic guys of TV series. This is the Money Heist bunker that they tried to rob in season 3 and 4. But you need to see season 1 and 2 to understand what happens in those 2 seasons, 3 and 4. Let's continue. Money again to the right. Street artist, you know, over here. You see, Ernest Band. Ernest Band. There you are. Okay, chicos. This building, this impressive building that we have over here. Yes, I'm gonna get to the corner of the building. That is the main entrance. Originally, this was a bank, and this was a bank made by or built by the Indianos. Indianos, you're gonna say, you mean Indians? No. Indianos for us were those who went to the Americas and they made fortunes over there. And this was the bank of the Rio de La Plata, you know, bank, the Argentinian bank, you know, in the mouth of the river. Rio de La Plata, that's how it's called also, that area. So there you go, all the entire thing, and look at the beautiful entrance that we have here. This was made, remember, in that extension I told you earlier, in between 1875 and 1920. So it was several years of extension of the city. But this bank was inaugurated before they lost most, sorry, not most, the three most precious possessions overseas, which were the countries of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippine Islands. The three of them in the same year, 1898. And of course, the bank broke a couple of years later, and it was sold to another bank. That bank broke, and so on. And now it belongs to something called Instituto Cervantes. Institution Cervantes means a couple of things. Institution is not where they teach. Cervantes is the writer of Don Quixote de la Mancha, the man from La Mancha. And despite Harry Potter still holds the record in the world to be the most translated and read book in history after the Bible. But hey guys, technically, the Bible is a compendium of several books. Don Quixote de la Mancha is just one book with one storyline. So why is it called Cervantes? First, because he's in Alcala Street. Alcala Street leads to that town I told you called Alcalá de Henares, remember? And then it was the birthplace of Cervantes. So what's the job of this institution? To take care of the Spanish language all over the world. Because, believe it or not, Spanish is as a native language, the second most spoken language in the whole world after Chinese Mandarin. We all know that English is the most extended one, but Spanish as a native language is the second most spoken one. Okay, Sarah, any questions we have over there? Or am I saying it too well or too quick?
I think you're doing fine. If anybody has questions, please just go ahead and raise your hand or put them in the chat box. But I think we're good.
Perfect. Okay, so you see, this is also part of this extension of the city that happened, let me remind you, years, 1875, 1920. That was when officially declared finished, the extension. Look at these traffic lights. How unusual. Look at this. Two ladies together, holding hands and crossing the street. When they go red, still the same two ladies. In other parts of the city, you have two men together. You have also the man together. You have also one woman together. And you have families, which means a man, a woman, and a little son. Why is that? It's very easy to answer. One is noisy, police car goes. Okay, the answer is that in 2017, Madrid was declared by the LGBT international community the gay capital of the world. And the World Gay Pride was held here in Madrid. And the mayoress at the time, that she was a wonderful and liberal woman, not what we have today. It's the opposite, it's extreme right, what we have today. So she decided to pay homage to that event, and welcome everybody from all nationalities and any kind of gem in here in this country. She decided to put some traffic lights, many traffic lights, in fact, in the heart of the city. That way. The mayor now, he decided to move them all. It was a big controversy when he was elected, but anyway, he decided to leave some of them. So as a little reminder of that event. 1 week that lasted that event, we received 7 million visitors just in the 2017, 2017. Okay, guys, getting back now to what we are looking at. Have a look at this. Can you see this wall over here? Doesn't match that wall of that building over there. There is a reason for that. In this extension of the city, was that there were two rules. One of them was that the height of the building had to be more or less the same, with the exception of some minaret or some tower that you might have, like this one, like this appearing over there, or this dome over here. But the thing is that the second rule had to be, do not touch the churches. So we have here a Baroque church. which walk on a straight line like that. That's not much the one that I told you earlier. Where a dome over there with the winged human figure that you see at the top. So what happened? They had to find a solution for that because they wanted to be more or less a grid. They couldn't make it as a grid, so they found that the best solution was to make a diagonal street in here, as you see, this one, which is called Gran Via. And Gran Via is a zigzag. The first portion, which is this is the financial. The second portion, which is further along, is the shopping district. And the third section is where all the theaters with live shows are. We call it Little Broadway. And look at the facade of this beautiful Baroque church here from the early 1700s. There you go. And this is, had to be respected in that extension at the end of the 1800s. So from the distance, once we crossed Gran Via and then Alcala Street, this is the fork that they had to make over here. And this building is also another icon of the city and one of the most photographed ones. This was finished in 1904, yes, 1904, excuse me, 1904. And it was built by this insurance company called Metropolis. But no, that is not the truth. Can I say, so what is the Metropolis sign on there? Actually, it was the Union and Phoenix, only lasted for about 15 years. And they had a bird over there symbolizing the phoenix, that you know is the bird that reborn from their own ashes. The happy is that the Union of Phoenix broke. The Metropolis bought the building and they redid the dome over there. And that figure that you have over there right now is an allegory to freedom. It's a human figure. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman because it has no breast, but you know, doesn't seem to be naked. Anyway, the thing is that allegory to freedom, and that was the Metropolis building, the insurance company. And then they broke a few years later, quite a few decades later. And in the late 70s, a bank bought the entire building and they opened a big branch over there, which now is closed, as you see. But the first, second, and third floor, now they're occupied by local central government dependencies in here. Nothing to do with the regional nor the city hall. And the view of Calle de Alcala. So we're gonna get down there. And I'm gonna stop right here just to show you the view of this facade. I'm gonna make a 330-degree panel. So that is going west. And can you see the sun setting behind one of those? Remember that, the sun setting. Please remember that. Have a look at these beautiful facades that we have over here. Most of them are called eclectic style. They don't break with each other, except for this one, which is an old previous building. They decided to keep it. This is a more modern one, this one that we see here, which is mixed with this. Actually, what happened with this building is from the early 20s, but there was a bomb from the Civil War in 1936 and 39, just dropped in there. That's why you see that this side of the building is this side. Okay, let's continue, and I will tell you in a moment where we're coming from. So look at that. Your screen probably is much bigger than mine on the phone. So at the very end, you see the gate of Alcala where we started. You see a little portion over there of what today is the City Hall. And then we see the House of America over there, and just in a straight line, the Fountain of Cibeles. Here to the left, we see the Cervantes Institution. That's the building I told you that's taking care of the Spanish language everywhere in the world, okay? That is the Baroque church that has to be respected when the new extension of the city, and that is Gran Via. Look at that facade, either one or the other. Both of them are just beautiful. Well, chicos, let's continue. Let's carry on, because there are more things that I want to show you in here. I'm just keeping an eye on the traffic light because it's blinking. So I don't want to hit by a car. I don't want it either. But I'll look at this building, the one with the Metropolis building, we call it. And sometimes, you know, simplicity is elegant, just like that. There you go. And followed by some of the buildings. For instance, I personally don't like the next one, but the following one with the red bricks and white wall is also pretty as well. The red brick is something that we have inherited from the times of the Muslims. When the Muslims were here, the main language, the main architectonical style was Mudéjar, Mudejar. Neo-Mudéjar was the evolution of the Mudéjar style. And the new Mudéjar was implementing a lot the red bricks. That's why red bricks is so common to see it here in the facades of blocks like this. And look, we are arriving now to one of my favorite spots in the city for photographs. Over there, as you see, I mean, not this one because it's covered with a scaffolding, but over there we have Baroque church, early 20th century, different styles, the tower and that building over there. But look at this gray building in here. I mean, for me, especially at night, this is like being in Gotham City. Different styles, so much richer, pretending to be Gothic, but it's not a defined style. That gray building you're looking at now is the regional government dependencies, not the headquarters. That we're going to see that in a few minutes. And coming here on the left-hand side, the red facade is the other church that had to be respected. And that is what caused the fork we saw earlier, because the straight line of the facade did not match the other church that we saw earlier. So here we're going. This is still Alcala Street. I can't remember, but I will say it anyway. If I mentioned before, Alcala Street under the same name is the longest street in Madrid, 12 kilometers long. That's about 9 miles. And gets almost to the airport. The airport of Madrid, without traffic, is about 20 minutes away from where we are here. And now, let me explain to you why there are so many buses and so many taxis in this area. This is an area called Central of Madrid. You see there's one bus over there. There's a taxi. Everyone that has the red stripe on the door, that is a taxi. That is an Uber over there. Well, the reason is that it was like about 4 years ago when this area, the city, authorities decided that no one could enter the city center of Madrid, which is quite large, unless you are a resident. Then you had to apply for a permit, or if you were going to any of the public parkings. So public parkings, they are kind of expensive. And so we have a wonderful city transit system, underground and on surface. There we go, another side street. Let me show you from this point, this tower, which is a hotel, now is closed, because we don't know why. But there you go. Look at this. That's why I always keep saying, look up when you are outdoors, because you might find surprises. Here we have a maternity, a very modern maternity, a mother with a child. And over there, we can see an eagle, that was inaugurated by an insurance company, this building. And by the way, if any of you have been in Spain, the Cathedral of Sevilla has a tower called Giralda. This tower, it was inspired, confessed by the architect, that it was inspired of the Giralda Tower from the Cathedral of Sevilla. Okay, so as I was saying, to get in Central Madrid is not worth coming far. What you have to do is just get yourself a monthly pass or one of those 10-fix tickets, which is perfect and works for the metro and the bus system. Okay, now we're gonna get into a very narrow alley. I'm covering my face, and no alley, sorry, here for pedestrians. That's yes, there are car parkings. So there you go. Let me show you. There you go, Starbucks, of course, right there in the corner. Can you believe, guys, that it was a time not so long ago, only 15 years ago, that Madrid was the city in the world with most Starbucks? 65 we had here. 65. Of course, when they realized that Spaniards didn't like Starbucks because they are very expensive, nothing to do with our traditional coffee here, they started to close, and the few that they are remaining are in touristic spots. Okay, but there is no tourism now. That's the thing. Have a look at this beautiful building, guys. This is what we call the casino of Madrid, not the gambling casino. Casino has a very selective high-end club. So if you want to buy a membership in here, there's a waiting list, as I was told, of 3 years, because you can leave in inheritance the membership to your descendants if you want to, or if you don't want to, you can sell them. But the minimum price is 10,000 euros to buy a membership in there, and depends in how many shares you hold. You have access to some parts of the place or another. It's like the, Justerini and Brooks in London, for instance. I was there only once, invited, so this works the same way. Selected restaurants in there, beautiful. Before crossing the street and being cheeky, and by cheeky, you'll get to know in a moment what I mean, let me show you this beautiful emblematic building over here as well. It was a compendium of 7 blocks, or I better say, the whole block was a compendium of 7 different houses. And in here, this one, it was bought by the Four Seasons, as you see over here. Don't pretend to give any information, any publicity, just information. And they have a complex of private apartments, 5-star hotel, also a top-notch brands gallery inside. You see Hermes as the shop in here. But these were 7 different banks. And can you see these little things that we have holding the balustrade? As you see, they are elephant heads over here. And the elephant heads is a subliminal message from the architect that made this building. It was in purpose for a bank, Spanish Bank of Credit. That was the first name that had the bank in here. So, guys, do you not imagine why the architect put that elephant head in there? Elephants are very well known for their good memories. So this was that subliminal message from the bank to the public saying, we remember our debts with us, your debts with us. So don't forget to pay your mortgage. Don't forget to pay your bills. Don't forget to pay us, whatever you have to pay us. So that's the elephant's head message. Okay, as I said earlier, let's be cheeky. I'm gonna try my best here. I don't promise you anything. Sometimes I have done it. It all depends on who's there, if they allow me or not to show you the entrance of this beautiful building, the Casino of Madrid. It's one of the most stunning staircases I think in the world. And yes, I know, look, this is when it was inaugurated. This plaque, September 29th, 1910. Okay, I'm going to speak in Spanish now. So just hold on a second. Hola, buenas tardes. Por favor, ¿me permitiría un segundito sacar una panorámica de aquí? ¿Sí? Vale, muchas gracias. Estupendo, gracias. Okay, we are lucky. There you go. Look at this beautiful staircase. Can you imagine that? Look at this. If it is the entrance, imagine how it could be, the inside. And look at this beautiful lamp that we have here. And that is a glass floor or a glass ceiling. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go. Vámonos. Muchísimas gracias, ¿eh? Venga, hasta luego. Chao. Okay. That's what I told you. I'm going to be cheeky, and I was cheeky, and it worked. If you don't cry, you don't eat. That's what my mom used to say. Hi, guys. Have a look at the top of those buildings over there. 2 quadrigas in, bronze over there. And they are in black, the same as that one was repolished, but they couldn't get the full color of the bronze. The same as this one that originally was very bright and very shiny, but they tried to repolish everything, and it's, that's the best they could do in here. The reason why they are in black is because when Madrid was the last bastion of Spain in the Spanish Civil War to be invaded by Franco. Don't forget that Franco was the one who declared the war in 1936. So, because they were bombing from the western part of the city, outskirts, to the city center, they painted those statues in black, all of them, because otherwise in a shiny bronze, it could be like a target. So in black, it was, like kind of hidden. Well, let's continue. As I said, beautiful facades in here with all this beautiful style. Look at the street lamps with the wrought iron, the windows here as well. Let's continue because we're going to get to something called Puerta del Sol, which is the heart of the city. If you give your kids or your grandkids let's say a toy, and the toy is beautiful, perfect. But if they need battery, the battery is what's pumping that toy to play. This bunny here, playing this little concert. So I'm gonna stay quiet here for just 20 seconds, no more than that. Okay, so I'm gonna give him a coin here. There you go. Gracias, chicos. Oh, that was a moment of relax. Well, this complex that you see here is still the same complex I was telling you, and that is the name. Galleria Canalejas. The entire complex has that name. As I told you, remember, several different blocks that they have been joined all together as the same complex, but divided in the part which is private apartments, the five-star hotel, and also this is the entrance of the top-notch, brands and the main brand designers that you could imagine. So there you have the name, Galerías Canalejas. And Puerta del Sol. Why it was called Puerta del Sol? Well, chicos, very, very easy. Because right there, I'll tell you where, but just a few meters away from us, there was a gate in one of the extensions of the city, because the city had several extensions originally. That Madrid, I told you, that was a very small citadel. Distances and spaces in those years, I'm talking about the 10th century, 9th, 10th century, it's not what we have in mind now. So we need our space, no space then. Nobody was conscious about space. But little by little, the citadel grew up. It was the medieval city. Then after the medieval was the Madrid of the Habsburgs. After the Habsburgs was the second extension of the Habsburgs. After the second extension of the Habsburgs was the first one of the Habsburgs, and so on. Well, right here at this point where we are right now, there was a gate because the wall was crossing right here. And you see the sun over there behind that building? So this was known as the Gate of the Sun, where the sun was hitting every single day when it was setting. That's why this square is called Puerta del Sol. Gate is puerta in Spanish. Puerta del Sol is the name of the square, which is not square, it's half a moon shape. That wall that you see on the left-hand side is straight, and here to the right, you're gonna see in a minute, that is the round part of the half moon. So here we are. We are officially inside of the Puerta del Sol. And look how pretty this is. Yes, there's a lot of people, I know that. And this bear over here with the berry tree that you see is called Madrono or Arbutus tree. That's the botanical name of it. But it's a kind of a cherry, sour cherry, okay? And the bear symbolizes the power, and the tree symbolizes the population. So remember earlier when I told you that Spain, well, the Kingdom of Castilla was the promised land because it has so many colonies all over the world, that the money was flowing in No, from everywhere. So this was a promised land. And there was a saying in those days that became very popular among everybody that wanted to come over here. No better place to go after seeing Madrid than heaven. So in Spanish is from Madrid, de Madrid al cielo, from Madrid to heaven. Why am I saying all this? Because this bear symbolizes the Big Bear constellation. The Big Bear constellation has 7 stars, and the flag of the region of Madrid has 7 white stars. So also in Madrid, also is there, and the Big Bear constellation reflecting on the flag of Madrid. I will try to show you later on. Okay, so this that says 50 years in Seoul is that this statue was commissioned to be placed in here 50 years ago, but not this year. It was in 2017. You see, so from 1967 to 2017, it was the commemoration of the 50 years of this statue. Remember this building that you see here in the back, because later on, in just a couple of minutes, I'll tell you something about it. But let's continue. Have a look where we're coming from. This is Alcala Street over there on a straight line. We get to the, she's not posing for us, she's posing for somebody else. But anyway, I don't mind. This is a public place. So, Gate of Alcala, like about a mile from here, more or less. Let's continue, chicos. Just giving you an overview of how it looked, the Puerta del Sol, when it was totally redesigned the way it is now. In this plaque that we have here, with these tiles, which was an idea developed by Isabel II, Elizabeth II, in the middle of the 1800s. In the city, she found out that most of the population was very poor and illiterate and could not read nor write. So she decided to have artists painting these tiles in here. And even if you could not read, just by the aspect of the tiles, whether it was a famous person or a famous place, you could know where you were. So, Puerta del Sol, guys, have a look at that billboard that you see over there that says Tío Pepe. I'm thinking of something very curious about that, related with the building that was behind the bear. In the center of the square, we see another of I can say, yeah, I can say that he was the best monarch we ever had, Charles III. Okay, he told you the same one that had the gate of Alcala commissioned to have it built over there. He was already a monarch before experience, and he was also considered the best mayor of the city of Madrid. So it's not that he was the mayor of Madrid, he was the monarch of Spain. So he had the power. This is a nice moment if you want to take a screenshot over here with the Cervantes sign over there. And again, another church, Baroque church over there that had to be respected in the construction of all this. This building over here is a hotel, but this other one, some of the apartments are residential, some of them are offices. Over there, we can see on the left-hand side, there's a roof restaurant in here. And let me just show you what's behind me. Okay, this is the other side of the square. And that building that you see over there, the white building, many years ago, about 10 years ago, it used to be the Paris Hotel. The family had enough of business, so they sold it into a corporation. That board that we see here, the Tío Pepe, it was over that building over there. Suddenly, from one day to another, they knocked it down. The board was protected by the city hall as a cultural interest, only because it became a symbol of the city. You know, the sign of Tío Pepe. Tío Pepe is a brand of a sherry wine, and the logo is this: a bottle with a bolero jacket, sombrero, and a guitar. So it was over there in the other building. when the city authorities came over to the new owners of that building that I showed you, and I will show you again, they said, hey, you have to put that back. And they said, no, we won't. Yes, you will. No, we won't. Anyway, they paralyzed the forming of the building inside, and that corporation almost abandoned the project to open their businesses in here, in this emblematic square for all the Madrileños. And after a 2 years trial, they became to an agreement. They were going to lease that roof for 50 years and keep the billboard in pristine conditions. And the building I'm referring to is that one over there that we have already seen, behind there. This one. Guess what corporation is that? Apple. Apple. This is the largest Apple store in the whole world. And the entire building is the shop, Apple, and they almost left or abandoned because it couldn't get to an agreement. And then decided to make it that way, and everyone happy. So they have the Apple store there, and we still have our theater design in the Puerta del Sol. This building, it was built in 1786, and it was by Jacques Marquet, a French architect, and this became in one of those extensions of the city I told you earlier, that became the post office. Again, another post office. Right now, it holds the headquarters of the regional government. And as you see the flags in here, the one on the right-hand side, the blue one, is is the European Union. The one in the center is Spain, and the one in the left is the red one I told you with the 7 white stars. Probably you cannot appreciate it, or you cannot perceive it very well right now because it's not windy here. But I promise you, they have 7 stars, and those are representing the Big Bear constellation, that clock tower. This square in here, let me give you guys a 360. I know I have only a few minutes left, but I'm going to be pretty quick and compact in here. So here, 360-degree panel. Just to give you an idea that in this square, every New Year's Eve, in normal circumstances, in between 30 and 40 people are packed in here, and everybody has something in common. Every single person that is packed in here among those 30 or 40,000 people in this square have the same thing in their hands. And that thing is 12 grapes. Why 12 grapes? It's a tradition in Spain that every New Year's Eve we have to eat 12 grapes with the 12 chimes of the bells. From wherever you are. If you're in a small town, go to where the church is, because for sure the 12 chimes are going to sound. But in this one, precisely in this one, which is broadcasted live from many channels all over Spain, from the terraces of the other side of the square, they slow down the 12 chimes of this, like about 3-4 seconds each. Otherwise, ERs will be filled with people choking with grapes in their mouth. Anyway, that is a tradition that we have here. And you have to have your 12 grapes every single year. Otherwise, no good at all. And now, just to finish this and to see if there is any questions over there waiting for me, let me show you the official center of the Iberian Peninsula. I know there is a few people in here right now, but I'm going to show it to you from the distance. Look what people do in here. This is the kilometer number 0 of all Spanish roads. Okay, so, yes, señora, hasta usted en el centro de la península. I was just saying to her that she was just in the heart of the peninsula. Look, just for a moment, let me show you here, Madrid in the heart, and in radius system, clockwise, National 1 going into France on the Atlantic side on the Bay of Biscay. National 2 into France and the Mediterranean. Number 3 going to Valencia, that's it, to the closest sea point to Madrid. Number 4 to the south of Spain. Number 5 into Portugal, but officially the road ends here in the border with Portugal. And number 6 goes to Galicia, which is a portion of Spain above Portugal. So we are officially in the mile or kilometer number 0 of all Spanish road, and officially the heart of the city. Oh, well, chicos. There you go. 6. Is it 6 or 7? I don't know what time I'm living now. But anyway, Sarah, do you have any questions over here?
I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody. So if you guys would like to ask Jorge some questions.
Come on, guys, don't be shy. I'm here. Oh, how many viewers we have? 40, 45, you said? 46?
Anybody has any questions?
Well, anyway.
Go ahead and jump in and ask if you want to say anything. I just want to say I have so enjoyed this myself because I feel like I've just been hanging out with you in Madrid, Jorge. So
thank you, Sarah. That's a big compliment, seriously. That is a big compliment. Yeah. Oh, well, a lot of people, look behind me. Look at how many streets are merging here in this plaza. The side that you see now behind me is the semicircular part. And now I'm going to switch to the camera in front of me, which is this one here. Wait a minute. Right, there you go. Yes, this is the one. So in that direction over there, you get to the Royal Palace. That's, as I said at the beginning, if you get into my Instagram, Jorge, or just through Guide Collective, that they have my links over there as well. You know, I just offer some tours in the Royal Palace, not in the Royal Palace, by the Royal Palace, but you cannot go inside. This is considered filming. And also here in the heart of the city, Plaza Mayor, the main square. And well, what else can I say? Sarah, do you have any questions that you want to know? Or
I have a question. I'm curious, would you be allowed to go into the Prado?
hold on, wait a minute. For some reason I can't hear you. Yes, say it again, please.
Would you be able to go and do a live virtual tour of the Prado?
No, I'm afraid I can't. You know, first of all, you cannot even take photographs inside of the Prado because in the long term it's been proved. Wait a minute, I just want to get to a corner here with not so many people. It's been proved that in the long term, you know, especially since the digital cameras, the infrared sensors to focus damages the works of art, and also it damages a lot the souvenir shops. Economy.
Yeah, I know they've gone back and forth in Italy over it for the same reason, but
yeah, that's right.
I'm surprised at how many people are there actually. I mean, it's amazing.
So am I, to be honest. So am I.
It's so busy out there. I'm really shocked by how busy. And the other thing that your walk has answered for me is that I know, at least in places like Venice, so many shops and businesses are going out of business because they keep doing lockdowns over and over again. They're going to have another lockdown in Italy starting on Sunday. And it seems like the damage is not so bad in Madrid. I mean,
actually, it is. It doesn't look like it because you see a lot of people walking. But I have to tell you, and this is true, that many small businesses, they have closed because they cannot cope with this pandemic any longer. And those traditional businesses, some of them are lucky enough that they have made a little fortune and they can, you know, just simply close the business and sell the premises. But some others that they were renting, especially in the restaurant or bars industry, you know, they are, how can I tell you? If you're lucky enough to have space outdoors to place some tables, okay, you can place half tables, at least something. But how many small little taverns and small bars there are that they don't have that chance to make it? So they are unfortunately closing down quite a lot of them. Yeah. And as I said, today is Saturday, you know, tomorrow is Sunday, in the middle of the weekend, a lot of people walking just for a walk because we cannot go anywhere else, just here in the city center. One curiosity is that, wow, let me show you this. Wait a minute. Let me show you this. Look how busy this place is. I'm a little bit surprised about it. Yeah,
everything looks normal. And so we have a question. Are you able to travel between, or you have to stay in your region?
Okay, good question, because as you well know, by my article that I have already written in the Guide Collective about Semana Santa, the Holy Week, we are a secular country. We're not Catholic officially any longer. And that is since 3 decades ago. many people don't believe it. They still believe we are a Catholic country, but officially we're not. But church or Catholic traditions are very much rooted in our culture here. For us, the Holy Week is from Palm Sunday till Resurrection Sunday. So it's a full week of festivities, okay? What is happening now, because it's getting closer and closer, it's at the end of the month, they have declared most of the regions, I told you earlier, that they're gonna have a regional lockdown, except the authorities of Madrid, that they say they do not want to block the economy at all. But if the others cannot get out of their regions, no one can get out of here. And from us, from Madrileños, we cannot go to theirs because it's going to be lockdown. So that is the debate right now.
Okay.
That is the debate. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Jorge, watching this with you,
Yeah.
I just had the idea that popped into my head. I think you and I need to do a week-long staycation in Madrid, where we have people, a group that's in Madrid, and then we travel.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. And you know what? I'm so much looking forward for yours. Multimedia slideshow of Venice next week. It's going to be at the same time, the same day. And I know it's going to be great because you are in love with Italy. And I mean, I need no more to know that it's going to be fantastic. And as I said, so much looking forward to it.
That's going to be a presentation, actually, because I'm going to go really deep into history and talking about the Byzantine Empire and stuff that only I like, but at least I'll introduce myself. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
But
it was wonderful.
No, seriously, Sarah, I just want to thank not only you, but also all the colleagues around here. Just to have this idea. And also I feel honored just to be the first one to do this. And what can I say? Thank you all. I know I feel like part of our family, the Guy Collective, you guys. And also for those who are seeing this, thank you so much. What can I say? Can you say something, Sarah, for me, please?
I would say that you guys have to understand, I'm so glad you're joining us tonight because you have to understand when we started Guide Collective, Jorge was so nervous about technology. And
You're right.
I grow 10 sizes bigger watching you out there guiding on the street and just dominating the technology, doing such a great virtual tour. Would you have ever guessed that you would be doing this 9-10 months after we started?
That's right. That's right. You're totally right,
our
Sarah.
best student. Like, you have really just done such a great job. I'm so proud of you, Jorge. And thank you so much for being a part of our family. It's been wonderful. So
my pleasure.
Any more questions you guys have? Anybody want to raise their hand or speak up? I think that you are now en route to your next virtual destination. You're going to be doing tapas, right?
Thank you, Sarah. You're very kind for mentioning that. Yeah. If you go to Traveling with Jorge, in my Facebook feed, it's going to be live in about, what time is it? Yeah, in about 20 minutes from now at 7:30 my time. Okay. We're going to do some tapas. Yeah, we'll have a tapas experience. Don't expect loads of things. I'm going to try my best. But yes, I'm on my way to that, starting in 20 minutes. Traveling with Jorge, remember, it's in Facebook. And yes, tapas and wine, of course, good wine. So if you want to join us, in 20 minutes, yeah, we'll be
there. I'll be there in 20 minutes, and I'll have, instead of wine, I'll have my coffee. But I'll envy your wine.
Just let me say, Sarah, if you don't mind, that that event is totally for free, although it's based on a virtual picture. Okay, nowadays we all know that in-person tours are not possible. Even if you wanted to, they're not possible because no one is allowed to come over from anywhere. So it's like you were saying a few minutes ago. Who could say less than a year ago that we were going to do this we're doing now? So that Facebook events free. Feel free to attend. But as I said, it's tip supported, and any contribution is extremely welcome nowadays. Sarah, thank you for giving me this chance and opportunity.
I'm so proud of you, Jorge. What a great job you did today. I very much look forward to being there in person with you, and we'll get to do some things hopefully soon. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much to all of our guests today who participated. I am so glad you are supporting our Guide Collective efforts because we have a lot of cool ideas of things we want to do. We didn't even know if anybody'd show up. So thank you so much for showing up and giving us sort of the inspiration to keep going forward and trying all of these different virtual events. So next week, as he said, is going to be me, and I'm going to be doing something different. If you've seen my Venice slideshow, this is actually something different. It's going to be talking about the origins of Venice and the hidden history of Venice most people don't know. So 9 o'clock next week, and you can register and buy tickets on Facebook. And otherwise, I'll see you on Facebook in just a little while for Tapas. That sounds really fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Stay healthy and safe, everybody.
And thanks to Julian and Nina for joining us today as well, and Fran.
Thank you, guys.
All right, ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.